Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Starflames and we're back with another banging video. In this video guys, we're gonna talk about critics believing that Halle wants to get full custody of Halo. Let's talk about it because I'm here to clean up and clear up some of these mess and some of these dramas that people are unwarrantedly creating on social media. And I've seen a lot of these comments in my comment section repeatedly, and I believe that I can definitely add some sense to all of it and clear up some of the misinformation. However, I'm completely aware that I cannot control everyone's opinion or perception of who Halle is or what she's about. Now, as I've said, some critics believe that Halle wants to get full custody of Halo and doesn't want DDG around the child. And that could not be anything furthest from the truth. As a matter of fact, I don't know how it is that people arrive at this assumption, because I know that the moment that Halle basically appealed to the court for sole custody of Halo, many people thought that she wanted to take DDG out of his son's life, and that was definitely not the case. She wanted to control how much DDG monetized Halo, because when she asked them to keep the child off the live stream for that many hours, he did not respond. If you guys remember, when she also asked DDG to not post Halo, DDG kept doing the same thing that she asked him not to do. She was still going through postpartum depression, and many people were like, oh, it's been almost 2 years now, because at that point she hadn't yet celebrated Halo's second birthday, I believe. And many people were like, it's almost 2 years now. She should get over that. And many people thought that she was lying. Not many people were aware of all the knowledge around, postpartum depression. And people need to understand that postpartum depression, it's like anxiety disorder. For some people, they may have it for just one time, one day, a few seconds, and that's it. Some people may have it for a few hours in a single day, and that's it. Some people may have it for a week, some people a couple of weeks, some people a couple of months. Some people experience anxiety for over a year. And if you know what anxiety or panic disorders are, you know that postpartum depression literally actually falls in the same line. Remember, it's all about the body and hormones. So, as such, many people were not knowledgeable. They weren't aware, and you really can't blame them, because if you're arrogant to something, you're just arrogant to something, and we will not always learn everything, right? So when Halle was asking DDG not to post Halo, many people did not get where she was coming from. And when DDG consistently was attacking Halle behind the scenes, because remember, this is how all of this happened. DDG did not respect boundaries. He would still be going to that woman's place, searching her bed, sending her images of her bed, insinuating that she was in bed, smashing someone else. And she was basically explaining to him that, no, I wasn't smashing anyone else. It's just that I left my bed unkept. And that should not be something that she has to explain to DDG, because they had long separated. So DDG was not respecting her wishes. And when DDG overstepped his boundary when she was on vacation, that's when she realized that if she did not do something to mitigate and put DDG in line, she would not know peace. So she basically filed a court order for two things: for DDG to stay in bounds, not step over that boundary because they were no longer together, and for him to keep the child off social media. Because when Halle initially asked the court to restrict DDG from putting Halo online, she had already taken the step to not posting her child online, right? So DDG had to be told by the court, no more internet for Halo. No, it didn't stop there. Halle applied for sole custody also to mitigate DDG consistently using the child on his live stream. So when she applied for sole custody and the sole custody was granted to her, even before DDG took any actions, she had her attorney reached out to DDG's attorney for them to come up with a co-parenting schedule. She did that without the court. So DDG told his attorney to reject that offer. He's going to go ahead and he's going to do some damage to Halle's image, because at that point he felt as though ain't no way Halle should have basically taken any legal actions. She shouldn't have done anything to mitigate the dispute between them. So DDG wanted revenge, and his way of getting revenge was basically going to the court and saying to the court that this woman suffers from psychological disorders. She has abused me too, and all of that jazz, right? He got his restraining order against Halle, and then he asked the court for visitation right. So the point is, to the critics who have been saying that Halle wants to get sole custody of Halo, that was never Halle's intention. Halle's intention is basically to keep DDG in line, to make him understand that social media is not a healthy place for any child to grow up. And not only that, it was triggering to her. Now, as it relates to the schedules that she came up with for Halo and DDG, I believe that schedule was very, very, very considerate, knowing that DDG was not financially contributing to the child as per her court document. Because if you're not financially contributing to a child, I believe it was very decent of Halle to even consider having DDG in Halo's life. Many women would have opted for him to be out of that child's life because he was not financially contributing. Halle did not take any legal actions against DDG for not financially contributing to the child's life. She did not. And she did not restrict DDG from seeing his child, irrespective of the fact that he wasn't contributing as per the court documents. So when critics say that Halle is evil because she doesn't want DDG to see his son, that's a damn lie, because the court records are there as proof. The court documents are there as proof that every single step of the way, she has always been lobbying, making the necessary steps and effort for DDG to be in his child's life. DDG has been the one who has always been playing the mind games, making it seem as though Halle didn't want him in Halo's life when that's not the truth. The court document is there, and that is not something that you can dispute, because she has evidence of that communication of her attorney reaching out to DDG's attorney for them to organize co-parenting without the court getting involved in that portion. But DDG thought that, okay, I'm going to one up on you. And if I one up on you, I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to come out victorious. I'm going to get sole custody. And that is what many people are not looking at. Many people are not looking at the fact that DDG tried to get sole custody of Halo from Halle. But because he did not get that, because, he was practically proven to be, I would say deadbeat, because he was in the child's life, and deadbeat is when you're completely absent. So I would not call him a deadbeat dad by any category, but he definitely tried to get sole custody, but it's just that he lost out on the bid. He lost in his efforts to do so. He lost in his attempts to do so. And that is something that many people have failed to come to the realization of. He wanted to take that child away from his mom. It's just that he wasn't successful in doing so. So now Halle is the witch. But throughout history, when a woman stands their grounds and when a woman stand up for what is right, and whenever a woman even does what is right, oftentimes she'll be labeled as evil, bitter, crazy, a witch. Because if she has been keeping her silence for so long and she has been allowing everyone to have their way, the moment she spoke out, yes, because you have been silent for so long. How dare you speak out now? You have to be crazy to be speaking out. Because when an individual is cornered, when they're caught in their own mess, caught in their own trap, you know what they do? They try to switch it. They try to switch blames. You're crazy. And they start telling people that you're crazy. Exactly as you guys see, they have been doing to this girl on social media. But irrespective of the fact that DDG and his flying monkeys have been literally painting this woman to be crazy, she has been rising above all the shenanigans and she has been coming out on top consistently. She keeps winning repeatedly. And as such, I have to say, shame on y'all. Shame on y'all for not being able to speak the truth and to split justice. Halle has always insisted that DDG is involved in his child's life. DDG was the one who wanted to take Halo from his mom. And that's all I have to share in this video with you guys. Let me know what's your take. What's your opinion, providing you have one. If you don't, that's still cool. Peace.